just said that on camera. This shit going viral.
Ape Nation, thank you for helping me pass 200 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hopefully I can earn it today. Ape Nation, boys and girls, what's going on? It is August 11th, 2021, Wednesday night. It's currently about 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And waiting for Trey to hop on his live stream for his interview with Aron Adam. Man, I always do that. It's Adam Aron. Okay, here we go.
Well, I'd like to start off by just making a statement for Adam here in terms of what he can and cannot talk about. There are legally binding things that tie CEOs to things that they can and cannot talk about. With that being said, the questions that I formulated was with that in mind for anything that we discuss here today. So I think the most pressing question and important topic we have to start off here with is, for our last interview, there was a Reddit post that got blown up, crazy amount of upvotes of you not wearing pants. For the record, by the way, I want you to know that I was not wearing pants either. Ain't good fun. I'm wearing my freaking little running shorts here too. Are you wearing pants today? I think that's an important question.
I actually did not know you were going to ask the question, but yes, I'm fully suited today. I'm not wearing a jacket, but I am wearing
That's money. No naked shorts here today.
I was expecting that.
Awesome. Well, we're just going to start off here and kind of briefly go over the earnings call because there were some really great things that you talked about. I think anyone that had a chance to listen to that would be pretty pleased with the way that AMC is uptrending here lately. You have $2 billion in liquidity. Your total seats that you're filling on a day-to-day basis, quarter over quarter, is increasing. You've got more seats being sold, less cash burn reduction. It's all great things. But with that being said, I kind of want to know this liquidity piece, right? The $2 billion that you guys are sitting on. So you spoke about potentially up to 10 movie theaters that you'd be able to acquire and, increase revenues. But outside of that, what do you plan to do with that $2 billion? What are you able to speak on in terms of what you want to do to go on the offensive for the company outside of that over the next 1, 2, 3 years?
As it turns out, that $1 billion figure was the highest amount of quarter-ending liquidity that our company's ever had in its 101 years. And that record, that was $1 billion 20, it's between $1 billion 20 and $1 billion 25 in Q1. And that record of having the best quarter-ending liquidity the company's ever had, well, it lasted 90 days. Technically, it lasted 91 days. Because at the end of the June 30 quarter, we had over $2 billion of liquidity. But again, that's been suggested to me by some of your subscribers, some of my shareholders, that we should make exclusive content, as Netflix did with House of Cards and The Crown. We've done that before in AMC's history, and we did it successfully. Not everybody in your audience knows, but a few years ago, we had a joint venture that we owned 50% of something called Open Road Films, which made a movie called Spotlight, which won the Oscar a few years ago for Best Film of the Year. So we know something about that too. There's always the possibility that we could diversify our company and buy something else in leisure and entertainment related, but that isn't a pure movie theater play. Again, we'd have to be very careful in what we do. But we also talked on Monday afternoon that we think there's opportunity for AMC to get much more active in the world of cryptocurrency. And I'm sure you'll ask me about that later. So
Absolutely.
All right, so here's my 2 cents on that. It's a good point. Right now, we have $2 billion in liquidity. AMC has $2 billion that they can use to go on the offensive. Now, if theaters are really slowing down, which the numbers show that is the trend, right? Since from 2014 to 2019, we've seen a drop in the numbers for whatever reason. I'm going to say it's because a lot of shit movies have come out, but to each his own. So how do you use that money in an offensive means? Well, just what he said. So we have Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, all these streaming services are looking for content. Now, he mentions that they went in and got a piece of the movie Spotlight, actually 50% involved with that movie, which came home with the Academy Award and made a lot of money in the box office. It's a very popular movie, I know, because the movie is about Catholic Church scandal in Boston, where they had men who were doing awful things to young kids, and they were moving them around and shuffling them from place to place. And believe it or not, that one of these houses that these guys were moved into, 5 of them, was literally 100 yards from my front door, and I didn't know it till I saw the movie. So it was very secretive, to say the least. But anyways, getting back to AMC, they can use some of this liquidity if they want to put into projects and use those other companies, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and so on, to make do production work, to make actual content, meaning films, reality TV, documentaries, whatever they may be, sporting events, whatever it is. And I don't know how that would work, but maybe they could do some kind of licensing deal with the UFC to show all the fights. All the big fights would be on. You could go to any movie, any AMC theater, any AMC theater, and see a UFC fight if you were interested. That's an interesting concept. But any type of content that you can make money on, if we are in a world that's changing to a streaming society where people are going to stay home a lot of the times and just watch their movie on an 85-inch screen TV with surround sound in their living room on their own couch, then how do you take advantage of that? You can take advantage of it with content and going into streaming. So the only reason I bring this up, and I thought it was something to mention, was because if this squeeze takes longer than we think, guys, then we need to be looking for how is AMC going to keep up producing, making money, and bringing in a steady revenue stream.
You know, the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all these different potential business opportunities for AMC. I've essentially compiled a list of questions that came from, the apes out there, the retail investors, that I think are pretty good ideas. And I just wanted to share with you, and get your opinion, because that's essentially what this opportunity is for. Before we get into that, I'd like to ask about Say Technologies, because it was a pretty interesting concept. It was able to essentially, you have a question that gets voted on, upvoted, and it shows you how many investors upvote a certain question, as well as how many shares are in that overall question. My 2 big questions for you, Titan, buddy. Sorry about my cat. My 2 big questions for you are, what was the inherent concept, the idea behind, essentially partnering with Say Technologies for that earnings call coming up? And then secondly, there's something that people are speculating on that I'd like you to be able to comment on if you can, regarding Robinhood buying Say Technologies the day after the earnings call, because it's speculation. There's obviously opinions about that. I'd say rightfully so, just based on timing. But obviously, coming from your mouth, it'd be the best opportunity to kind of get your opinion on both of those questions, if you could answer.
The individual investor now owns AMC. It's more than 80% of our shareholder base. 80% of our shares are owned by millions of individual investors.
And guys, that's so important right there. We own this company. We own this company. I don't care what he says about the percentage. We own 99% of the float. Whatever the float is right now, we own 99% of it.
We all thought it was a great idea to be able to talk directly to our individual investors and to hear from our individual investors. I'm going to come back to the second half of your question in a second, but it's really important for us to have a dialogue with the company's owners. That in addition to these questions that we took and answered on the earnings call on Monday, movie theaters. Now, the second part of your question was, what do I think about Robinhood's announcement that they're buying Say Technologies? We obviously had no knowledge of that until it was announced. I guess was it Tuesday they announced it? And I must say we were quite shocked to learn of that. If you had asked me until the Robinhood announcement what I thought of the Say Technologies experiment that we tried on Monday, I would have said I thought it was great. I thought it was wonderful.
Okay, so here's my second point on this interview. They asked him about the Say Technologies. Did they know that Robinhood was going to buy it? And his exact words were, "We were shocked." They thought it was a good idea to use to interact with the consumer, with the retail investor, that this technology will allow them to do that. As far as registering your shares and the information, people are worried about that. I know I've read a lot about it and heard a lot about it. The people are worried about that. And the fact that he says that he was shocked, I mean, I'm going to take the man for his word and say, well, what does Robinhood have to gain from that? Well, look at all the information they're privy to now, right? And they paid for this company in cash. Something don't smell right with me. Something just doesn't smell right with me. I can't say what it is yet because we don't really know. But I don't like it. And the fact that Aron Adams said he's shocked, that makes me a little nervous. And I will be looking into it. Don't worry, guys.
For now.
You know, this is actually a question that I have in specific regard to offerings and such. So as we know, there's a legally binding statement that Adam Aron's made along with his company that they will not ask for any more shares in 2021. They won't issue any more shares in 2021. But I think
Wait. It's true that we aren't going to ask for any more authorizations. Technically, we could issue 46,000 shares.
46,000, right.
But I don't think 46,000 shares is going to change our fortunes all that much. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think based on the daily volume, we'll be okay.
Okay, so that was interesting. He just said, well, technically we have 46,000 shares left. I don't think that's going to change our fortunes too much. And then he said, not yet, and started laughing and said, not yet again. That was interesting. Because if the stock goes to $10,000 a share, you're talking about bringing in $46 million. I'll do some quick math on that. But $46,000 a share, 46,000 shares at $10,000 a share, that's a lot of money. So that was interesting. Very interesting that he was laughing at that, saying not yet. Because at what point is 46,000? If we go down to $10 a share, it's definitely not going to. What's coming that he knows? So they went on again for a little while, and then Trey asked him about his partnership with GME, which it looks like that is nothing. Like, the way he described it, he even said, out of respect for the other company, we're not going to talk about that. All he basically said is that the idea has been announced to him. He has been made aware of it, and they are considering what they may be able to do with GameStop. But that, guys, is not an issue. That no phone calls have been made, nothing like that. So I think we can put that to rest for right now as far as the immediate future.
What could we do, and what are the possibilities?
Trey, ask him about the share recount. Forced share recount.
It's on our radar. No conversations are taking place.
Trey, ask him about the forced share recount.
I've said that we will reach out to them.
Share recall.
And we'll see where that goes. And
don't forget.
We'll share it with you and your audience.
Don't forget.
Rock on. Hey, well, I've got one more question for you, and then we'll leave you with the usual closing statement. But before I ask that, there's something I just want to give to the viewers right now, just as a respect in terms of a question that I know they want me to ask, and that's regarding the share recall. I'm not going to ask you this. What I want to say is legalities and legally binding statements that Adam Aron makes affect him in a way that is different from what the average person can speak about. So this is not a question that I'm going to be able to ask Adam.
Okay, guys, so clearly I was trying to prime him to get him ready to ask that question, Adam Aron. He wasn't listening to me clearly, but I tried. I did it for all you guys. I was able to sneak into the earpiece and get a hold of Trey. But, yeah, so that was something interesting. I don't know why he can't talk about that. That is something that the CEO of a company would be directly involved in and would have to give permission to do. It would be something AMC would have to be totally involved with. So why that he can't talk about that, I have no idea. It was coming up on the live stream chat. Every other sentence literally said that. And I know I tweeted that to Trey yesterday to say, hey, ask Adam Aron about that. That's probably not his right name, but yeah. So I don't know why. But I'm going to look into that as well and find out why he wouldn't be able to answer that question. But anyways, that's the story for a different day. I thought the conversation went well. Look, guys, all we got to keep doing is remembering the fact that they haven't covered their shorts. We continue to buy and hold as we own 99% of the float. This is our company. We own it. Matter of fact, next time I go to AMC Theater, I'm going to just say I'm one of the owners and see if I can just walk right in. I'm going to try it. No, actually, that would be wrong. I'm gonna pay for my ticket because I want the money to go towards revenue. But we own this company. You, I, Ape Nation, we all own this company. So until they want to cover their shorts, we have control. I don't care what that price says on the screen. Ape Nation owns AMC. You and I own this company. He works for us, and until the shorts want to cover and they want to buy back their $2 billion or whatever the number is of naked shorts and FTDs and every other thing that is out there, we own this company. We stand our ground. We buy and hold, and when they want to come to us to buy them back, we set the market and we win the war. Until then, the battle goes on. I'll be here with you guys. You know the deal. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Mandalorian, and I'm out.